Keep it up, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, how's it going?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
Oh, great. Hey, I appreciate your time and
Yeah, nice to
all
meet you. What's
everything you've
up?
done. So,
Thank
hey,
you.
I'm newer to, let's say, just wholesaling, and but I've done real estate. I've got my real estate license up in Utah. I'm in Arizona, and
Okay.
so I do medical
Where?
sales outside of Phoenix, Goodyear,
Okay.
and it's 109 degrees today. So it's
Nice.
but we don't have the humidity. Hey, a couple things I wanted to see is like I've got time, I've got some money I can invest. I wanted systems that can bring me leads, like with the VA. How would you go about doing that? What would be your like intro to and most important things into bringing in a VA and what would you be having them do with calls and stuff like that?
So this is pretty cool. So I just did a video on how to do 5 virtual wholesaling deals a month, and I kind of have my notes right here, so I can just kind of break that down with you more or less on the systems for it. So the real question is, are you going to be doing your area, or are you going to do virtual?
I want to do both.
Okay, so 50-50. That's definitely the right way to do it. So I'm not going to reveal that video too much, but like what I can tell you is what I figured out is it's all about the market and then the marketing to a point. So you're going to have to test like crazy. So I always tell everyone this, and this might not be what everyone wants to hear off the bat. You've done medical sales. You know how to talk just to people and get sales done. So like that's not a problem with you. Um, Sales is easy for you, acquisitions. So what I always tell you is it's probably best for you to outsource the acquisitions part. I mean, sorry, the marketing part. That probably get the best results, and then you just deal with doing sales. That makes sense. You're gonna have to test it out and then build out the system for it, right? And that's honestly the way you got to do it. You always think of like how they build cars, right? If you look at how the Model T, the Fords, right? They have to build the prototype, and then they know how the prototype works, and then they build it out like crazy. They don't automatically make an assembly line for a Tesla right off the gate, right? They make it first. They make a prototype. They make 2 or 3 of the cars, and they test it out, and then they go mass out on it. So it'd be really hard for you to get VAs in a system without knowing how the hood works underneath it. So if you get a VA system out for a list and a marketing channel that just doesn't work, you're going to fail, and you don't know if it's going to be the VA or the marketing, right? If you know the marketing works, you're going to know if the VA is good or bad. That's always the way I figured it out.
When you're talking about marketing, I mean, is it the type of list or is it the what what do you mean about marketing specifically to like
Yeah.
niche that down?
Yeah. So marketing comes down to 2 things. It is the list and the marketing channel. It's a yin and a yang. Without the
So
right,
it's like you're talking about like, hey, it's the channel, and then it's either SMS texting or cold calling or sending out mailers. Is that
yeah. So let me give you an example. If I choose a virtual market, like I'll tell you when I started out in Knoxville, Tennessee for virtual wholesaling, like 3, 4 years ago. I went to Knoxville virtually, and I figured I did all the lists. I did probates, I did code violations, I did water shutoffs, I did fire damage properties, I did arrest records. Like I did every single list possible. And then I SMS text blasted that list. I cold called that list. I had people do reverse driving for dollars on that list. I did people do driving for dollars on that list. I figured out in Knoxville that cold calling the vacants worked really well. SMS text blasting the vacant high equities worked really well. And then I figured out the arrest records and fire damage didn't work too well. I had to do all these type of lists to figure out which one worked and which one hit, and then I scaled it out like crazy. That's how I figured it out. I didn't know bandit signs were going to work so well in my local market unless I did a couple, and then I had people do it out for me. Um, and that's honestly what I figured out, and that's what I always tell everyone out how to do it.
Okay. So then go backwards and figure that out. Just test a couple markets, and I need you to use just a couple different VAs to do cold calling and texting.
Sure, you can do it. It's going to be the problem with starting out with VAs. It's very, very hard to figure out if it's the VA that's the issue or if it's the market or marketing that's the issue. If you have the VA using the standard cold calling line that I use, it's pretty easy to figure it out. That's one loophole around it you can do. So, yeah, I would do that. Honestly, it's really hard to go wrong on government lists. And if you choose the right market, which you can just go on any live and ask me if the market's good or not, and I can kind of help you out more or less on it. But yeah.
Okay. And so I pulled some probates and started on those. And a couple places around here that's a pain in the butt to pull probates. You have to go in live and actually use their computer. So it's a blessing and a curse. Like not as many people will use them. But like in Podium and stuff, when you're keeping track of them, when do you put the lead in? Are you putting them all in Podium, or are you using like a spreadsheet, or how have you systematized keeping track of everything?
So yeah. So my CRM is built in a weird way. I'm a left to right type guy. I think of a conveyor belt. So you don't get put on the conveyor belt unless the lead is someone's interested in selling the house. My Podio is only people that are interested in selling or follow-ups. So before that, let's think the marketing, right? I pull all the raw lists. I have it all skip traced. It's either in, batch. It is either in my Google Drive if I'm doing government lists, and then that'll be put in a dialer, cold calling it, whatever type of marketing I'm doing. Hey, I'll do some direct mail on it too. It's all put up in my Google Drive. Once someone's interested in selling the house, it goes from the SMS platform, the cold calling, CallRail actually, if someone is doing an inbound lead for me, and then it gets put into the Podio for the interested party that's interested in selling it. Then my acquisitions agent goes on there, and then boom, 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 and it goes to the left to right process. So nothing goes to my CRM unless they're interested in selling it, because then you have 2,000 leads, right? That's a mess, and then you got to delete most of them out of it.
Okay. And then are you recycling those leads like in Excel or in Google Docs and having them just recall and everything else and answer until they're dead?
Yeah. So kind of like I said before, timing is everything. Like what I was telling Jacob, I'll have a list of all the high equities in my county, which is a lot smaller, right? And are you Maricopa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're still Maricopa. So like in my county, right? I'll have a list of like 20,000 high equity with like some special filters in there. And I'll SMS text blast that list of, let's say 10,000 people. Okay. Let's do a list of 10,000. Out of 10,000 SMS text blast I'll get sent, I might get 1-2 deals from that. Okay. Just from that type of list. And that's interesting because that was 1 to 2 people. I texted that list 4 times that year, 4 separate occasions on that specific list. And I got 2 deals out of that list every single time. That means on Q1, that means there was out of those, let's say I did 6 deals from that list. That means 4 of those deals said no Q1, right? Q2, 2 of those people said yes. There's still people that didn't say yes. It's all about timing. So I'm going to recycle that list. I always do a rolling schedule where I'll have a code violation list, or honestly, let's do a high equity list at as vacants, okay? For my virtual wholesaling. That vacant list, month 1 is going to get hit with the SMS. Month 2, that vacant list is going to be a cold call. Month 3, that's going to hit with the direct mail. Q2, going to SMS text blast list again, SMS text blast that list again. Then I'm going to cold call that list and then because different marketing channels hit sellers different ways. I have deals where I SMS text blast and I got a deal because the seller would never answer a cold call from me. Never. And vice versa, where they'll only answer a cold call. They don't trust the texts. It's all weird, man. So I figure out different channels hit it at different ways.
Okay. No, that's great. And then, hey, how do you, I've heard you say like switch up your number a couple times. Do you know how to get multiple Google Voice numbers?
So
do you do that, or what do you do for different calling areas?
So YouTube doesn't like it when I talk about this because YouTube's owned by Google. To a point, either you get really cute with the VPNs, you get really cute on finding multiple numbers. At this point, at my level, I just have CallRail and I can get as many numbers as I really want. And then I can, with Batch Dialer, for example, I can kind of mask it where I can get multiple numbers for it. And then they kind of use their toilet. I don't get like top 2 over everyone's head on it, but like there's ways around it. Yeah, like John says, you get Vumber. Vumber's like CallRail too. It's pretty cheap. You can even use Twilio to a point. But the problem is when you buy someone's number, you could be using a new Google Voice number. Maybe someone already SMS text blast that one, and that one's already spam likely. Kind of all over the board. But I have multiple phones, accounts, all that stuff to just get multiple Google Voice numbers.
Okay. For probates, what is your intro call? Especially because some of these I don't have the state's address on them, so it's not like, hey, are you the owner of this? It's you get very limited documentation there, just applying for probate and just starting.
Yeah, I get it. So are the heirs on there?
Yeah. So I'm
Are the
calling
deceased on there?
sometimes, yes. So sometimes the heir, like especially when they're doing it by themselves, they're given their name, phone number, everything on there, so I can call them directly. And I've gotten them, but like I just wanted a smoother conversation starter.
Easy. I got you. So number one, what I always do is you can even have a VA do this, which is probably worth it at $3-4 an hour if you can. Have the VA pull the decedent's name, put it on the Maricopa property appraiser, see what house the deceased person owned. They owned 123 John Street, right? Now you're going to do, they're going to put in Excel that heir, John Smith, and then you're going to put decedent's address under their address. And then when you cold call, you're going to ask the heir if they are the owner of the decedent address. It's going to do two things. First of all, they're going to get thrown off. Like, wait, I don't own it. Wait, I own it. Wait, it's weird for them, because guess what they're used to? Hey, are you looking to sell your property cash? Because I'm a home solution. No, you just call, like, you don't call them like a salesperson, because that once you get that, you do medical sales, you understand this. It's like once you get sales mind, there's shut down. Once you ask them that question, they get punched in the face in their mind. Like, wait, do I own that? Wait, now they're not in the no mode. Get off the phone. They're like, well, yeah, and they're gonna usually say, yeah, I'm the owner. Hey, I was just driving by the property. Hey, are you looking to sell it? I'm just looking to buy some houses. Well, I'm kind of the owner. I'm kind of not. And then they explain the process. Because, dude, if you go and call them and say, hey, I saw your grandma died, I'm going to buy that house, done. But if you just say, oh, sorry for the misunderstanding, I thought you owned it. I just, hey, wherever I got the data from, said it. Well, that's a weird coincidence, because I'm actually looking to sell it. You're good to go. That's the best script, hands down. Play stupid.
Awesome. Then I'll start getting those systems up with some VAs and keep going. So
awesome, man.
Thanks for your help.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.